What's up, ladies? This is Marcia here with another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. I have February member of the month, Patti Stevens. Patti Stevens and I were going to be talking about how to find a way and not an excuse.
So the big question is this. How were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
Patti, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, so you and I had a conversation prior to this episode airing. I know who you are, but for our audience that's tuning in today, can you please tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm almost 60. I'm 56 years old. I own a travel agency that I acquired in 2021. So I'm very new at it. And as crazy as that is, having your own agency and the time that it takes to run the business, I find time to go to LSF. So it's exciting for me. I live in the city, so I am close to on the other side of O'Hare. So it's a good drive for me. But once I started, I got hooked, and I made it a point that it was going to be my schedule no matter what. And the girls all know Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm out of here. I got to go to work out. No matter how much work is on my desk, it'll be there tomorrow.
Yes, I love that. I really do love that. And which is why I entitled the topic that I did, because you're so far away. And for most people, they'll be like, there's no way. And let's talk about prior to you joining at our brick and mortar, you started off virtually.
I did.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, Mo, a lot of you guys know Mo Hawkinson, and she was like, Patti, there's this virtual, they're letting people borrow their equipment. You got to check it out. And I loved it. It was the piece that I really needed. I wanted to work out. And I remember I would be at home. I loved the routines. And Tiffany at the time was like, Patti, there's so much crystal around you. Like, I was just making do with the space that I had to do the workout. And then you guys started announcing that you were opening the doors. And I'm like, I remember talking to my husband, I sort of want to go. I want to check it out. And he's like, then go. If you walk in and you're like, this is not as clean because it was COVID, then you leave. Nothing's holding you back. But I got there and it was immaculate. I mean, and still, that is one of the things. I've been to other places that are so dirty, or the dust, you could tell they never looked at the dust in that corner.
Yeah.
Alice is immaculate. And so it made me, I didn't care about the distance. I worried because it was COVID. There was no traffic on the road. I'm like, how's it going to be in the winter? How's it going to be when people start going to work? But it wasn't bad. It was easy for me. Yeah. Sorry, I went off a tangent there.
No, so. that was perfect. I want to really put a lot of emphasis on this distance, because for me, it's still mind-boggling because take no offense for anyone who's tuning in, and you and I talked about this, but we get women who, if they, move and it's within like a 20-mile radius, you got to add, double that based on, the timing of things and commute. And I think of you every single time, and it's like, man, why is it that Patti can do it, but other women can't? So what is it for you that you're like, I don't care. I have to, this is something that I need. There's got to be something, and I'm curious to find out what that is.
Well, it's you guys. I mean, it's the routines, it's the coaches, it's the whole package, nutrition. In the beginning, it was just the workouts. It's what I needed. I really enjoy the workouts. I'd gone to Orange Theory, which was down the street, and didn't go. I have a membership at LA Fitness I've had for years.
Oh, wow.
Don't go. I mean, so it was what you offer. It was it was always different. It wasn't the same thing over. It wasn't repetitive. You do some of the same routines maybe a month later.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a burpee, but the whole routine itself is always different. And I'm a bit ADD, so I think I need that. I need it to always be different. I wanted strength. It had the strength. It had the cardio. I like the flexibility. You're always warming up. You're always cooling down. I mean, you did everything that I thought was, as a high school, but not now. I was a gymnast. Those are things you did. So it made sense that you were incorporating all of that.
Yeah.
And
I like
you
that.
watched what you did, how you did it. Now, I mean, I know there's a large room, but the coaches tried at least, hey, you're not doing that right.
Sure.
Put those elbows up, move your shoulders in, whatever it is, everybody's trying.
Yeah, I like that. So there's something else that people need to know about you is that you take advantage of all the resources that are available to you at Lady Strong. You do the supplements, you've done challenges and you've gotten really great results, which I want to talk about. I have to give you kudos for that, because there's some people that I wish they did do as much as you did and took advantage of those things. And I think that's why you're so successful in your fitness and wellness journey. So let's talk about that. Why are you so prone to like, I want to do that, I got to have that? Like, it's not for me to know. I think it's for the other women that maybe are on the fence about it. So why is it that you are able to do such a thing versus maybe someone else? I'm not too sure.
Well, I'm sort of an eternal student, so I'm always trying to learn. And
Yes.
Brittany talked about this in some of our episodes, at 1%, trying to be better.
Mm.
And you offer those resources, so I don't have to go anywhere else. And I trust every time you present something, you can tell that it's been researched.
Mhm.
You have knowledge. The girls answer questions, and if they don't know, they go to somebody else. Like maybe you have more knowledge than
Right.
Jess does.
Sure.
She'll find out, but now she knows it was
Right.
something maybe she learned it, but it just didn't sink in.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, let's lost my train of thought.
Okay.
But so maybe I'm going to compare it to Weight Watchers. I went to Weight Watchers for years,
Mhm.
and I loved the people that I was with and the information they were giving me, but it was a point system. So if
Mhm.
anybody's ever been in Weight Watchers, it's a point. So you got to do your points. It never made sense to me, because what do you do after those points? What's the food? What's the grams? What's the macros? What am I supposed to really be eating in real life?
Sure. Yeah.
And what you guys offer, you're trying to, not that I'm consistent. Every time I do a challenge, I always try to at least take 1%, if not more, and retain it.
Yeah.
And keep doing it.
Yeah.
I wish I could do better. I mean, there's some people like, oh, aha moment, and they just straight line. Now they're on that straight line. I go up and down.
That's okay. We're not perfect by any means.
Exactly.
But
But at least I try to implement.
Yeah, you have the resources, and let's talk about, you implementing them. Let's talk about your results. You came off of some challenges and you've done really well. One of which you just finished this past summer. Let's talk about that. I know you got really great results from. So that was, I believe, was it the 8-week one that you did, or 30-day? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which is, I like how you said I did both. So let's talk about your results over the course of, 12 weeks. Like, what did you learn? What type of results you received, both scaled victories and non-scaled victories?
So scale victories, because we always love the scale victories. And even though visually everybody kept saying, oh, you're doing really well, I'm like, no, I didn't really lose that much. But then I went to a doctor's appointment. He's like, you lost 20 pounds since you were here last year.
Yeah.
I was like, really? I mean, I keep looking at that number just seemed way too big. I'm like, no, it's like 5-10 pounds. I know I'm looking at the numbers, but I don't go far back enough to say, what's the totality of it?
Right.
Physically, I love that half the clothes I had was loose.
Oh, wow.
I had to buy something new. So that's wonderful. But a mindset, I mean, understanding the macros and knowing what I need to do. I mean, things are just a habit now. But it's not just the challenges. Like you made a comment about your knees and your muscles eating cottage cheese. I retained that. And it's like, I eat cottage cheese almost every day, but I tell other people, I told my girlfriend Maria, who has bad knees, I told Mo, and they're like, you know what? It's helping.
Yeah.
So it's all those little things, that help me gain or get where I got. And so it makes me excited. It makes me happy. I mean, everybody, if you lose weight, you feel more confident, stop some of that negative talk in your head.
100%.
So
I like that. I like how you said, just by retaining the small information, because people think they need all this resources, info to be able to get these huge results. And it's just the smallest thing that ends up making the biggest impact. You don't necessarily need to take everything in. And that's where people get overwhelmed and, feel anxious and anxiety and frustrated and want to give up. But it's like, exactly like what Patti needs. And then you find it with an LSF and then you execute it, regardless if it's perfect or not. You have the information and now, like you said, what to do. And I applaud you for that. So thank you.
It's hard to do over perfect though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody wants to do it. Okay. At that straight line, I'm like, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
If I can take a little bit, like you said, then, and I can make it consistent. Okay. Now I can add a little bit more next.
Yeah.
And keep moving up the ladder. And to me, that's what I'm doing. I'm just moving forward and up the ladder.
Yeah. So we talked about all the good things. Like we said, nothing's ever perfect. With you being an entrepreneur, having your own business, commuting as far as you do, you having a family, what seems to be like the hardest part for you, making time for yourself and making sure you're getting your workouts in and you're doing the things that you need to do? Like, share some of those imperfections with us. Like, what do you maybe struggle with the most that, that if you just continue that, hey, if I get past this, I'll be great. Like, what is it? Like, let's talk about that.
My biggest thing is food stressors. So when I'm stressed, I'm a nibbler. I'm constantly like picking at stuff and don't put the bag in front of me because it will be gone. So I have to, but I know when I'm doing it. And then you're like, all right, just put it down. You shouldn't be doing this. Just put it down. I wish I can get past that. And I will, I'll be better prepared and have, healthier snacks closer by me. Which I do. Now I actually have, instead of the chips, I have the almonds next to me.
Nice. I love that.
So just little things and just being consistent on it. Dinner planning.
Okay.
That's the hardest piece for me too, is making because I have a family and everybody's like, well, we don't want that tonight. Let's do this instead. But talking about taking in all your resources, that Meals by Sophie, or I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. Yep.
I pick usually every Monday. I have the chicken wraps and a dinner or two. So we're not going to McDonald's and we're not going to Portillo's. I have something else for those days that we didn't have time to cook.
I love that. I want to share that because if ladies that are listening and they're like, what are they talking about, Meals by Soph? So we do have a third party company that we've partnered up with called Meals by Soph, which is, prepped meals. Like all you have to do is warm it in the microwave and it's done. And she has an assortment of different foods to choose from, if you're vegan or a meat lover, but there's so many different options that are available for you. And I know she has a special where you can try, I think it's 3 meals for free for the first 3 or 5.
I don't know. I've been doing it for so long, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Get a discount, LSF coupon.
Yeah.
10%.
10% off for every order. So again, if you're one of those people that are on the go, that don't have time, Meals by Soph, having the prep meals is the best way to go. And I'm glad that you're taking advantage of it. By the way, I know Brittany loves those wraps. She said they're amazing. I haven't tried it, but she said they're really good. So, okay. What I want to do, I like to end each episode with asking, or I want you to give advice for anyone that's listening in, if it's a member or a non-member, what would that advice be? And that could be from, a mental standpoint, a physical standpoint, whatever it is. What type of advice does Patti have?
So one of my challenges was just being happy with me, my body. Mm-hmm. So learning to tell people, you got to be happy with you. Mm-hmm. Your body, no, you don't have to be the model on TV. Mm-hmm. This is your body. You made this body. So just be, there's a word you say, not gracious. I can't think of the word. It's just lost. I just lost it, but having grace, just have grace, with yourself and what you're doing. You'll get through it. Just take your time. Don't punish yourself.
I like that. And I think honestly, that can go for a non-member or a member that we have inside our community, which is really good advice because a lot of people, including myself, I'll be honest, I'm not patient. I was just telling Brittany today, it's just like, you just want things to happen now and be there already. And, it's trusting the process and, the coaches and the Green Squad team. So I think that's really good advice. So Patti, honestly, it's been a pleasure having you a part of the community now for going on almost 3 years, which is crazy. That's insane. So that says a lot, because I shared a statistic, and I'll end at this, that most women end up canceling their gym membership. I think it's 60% of women, in fact, within the first 3 months. And to know that you've lasted 3 times that, 3 years, is amazing. And yeah, pat yourself on the back. You are not a part of that statistic. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
I really do appreciate you coming on here. Shout out to Mo, if Mo's listening in today, for referring your girl Patti. So with that being said, ladies, thank you so much for another episode of Lady Strong Fit Cast. Have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.